the question I've got for you is there going to be a title fight? Because Kimi Antonelli brought the fight to George Russell. So the World Drivers' Championship, I have my fingers crossed. Constructors' Championship, less so. But what do you think we're going to be seeing as the season unfolds in May onwards?
Yeah. Hi, Jim. Thank you for teeing that up, because it is quite a funny time in Formula One. I think that it was a frantic opening couple of races. I think there was a lot to adjust to for us as fans, teams, journalists, drivers especially. It was a lot to take in. And I think that, yes, people can breathe for a second and digest. The work in the factories will still carry on at full speed while those at the back are trying to catch up. But yes, those at the front, a very happy camp in Mercedes, wasn't it? I think the podium was Toto Wolff's best ever podium, as far as he was concerned, in terms of enjoyment. Is there going to be a title race or a title battle between the two teammates? I can't see it at this moment in time. I think Kimi Antonelli is a wonderful talent, but I still think that he is developing, maturing. I think based on the evidence, which we can go on from last year, we saw that he did struggle in a few of the European races, and I'm not saying that will happen again, but if he's got that slight area of his driving that he needs to refine for whatever reason and however he does it, then I think George Russell is the man to fully capitalise. I think this title is Russell's to lose. I know the regulation change coming in is looking to sort of slow down Mercedes' advantage. That's going to be coming in sort of in a couple of months. So until then, I think it's advantage Russell.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's looking good, but what encouragement I've had, and you may disagree, it'd be interesting to know, is getting a win on the board this early in the season, which I think is huge. I know it doesn't always shake out that way. I think it was Bottas winning in Australia, and to whom it may concern, fuck you. That very quotable radio message. But it didn't really turn into any sort of Bottas really mounting a title fight. But I do feel, with all due respect to Valtteri, who I think is a solid driver, and I did think he had a championship in him, Kimi's ceiling is so high. And I think that's probably a lot of why Toto felt such relief and such happiness, let alone having Hamilton on the podium to make it a little bit more special. But he didn't want to lose out on a Max Verstappen again. And I cover a lot of the feeder series. Kimi Antonelli has been the standout performer for years, from the karting world going into Italian ADAC F4. And Mercedes were like, we're going to get this kid into F1. So that's like the culmination of thinking of idea now for us in 2026, and then seeing it come off in 2031. Like, the relief was palpable. But then I think George Russell's been the same in a way for Toto, that he put a lot of stock in George, and now George is going to get the championship. Like, from Toto Wolff's perspective, he can't lose here.
Commentator curse. You just said George. You just said George is going to win the championship. So you're obviously confident as well. I think, yes, Mercedes have invested in a lot of time in Kimi and George, but that's what young driver programs are all about, isn't it? It's getting that talent early age and nurturing it and seeing it all the way through. And that's good for them. It is about time they had a successful production line, because it's still relatively new to the sport. But of course, when they first came back into F1 and they had that sort of Schumacher-Rosberg partnership, which was to get things running. And then they had obviously Hamilton and Rosberg. It was kind of ready-made. They were ready-made F1 drivers at the time. This is probably their first example of sort of being able to nurture, well, it is the talent of the two drivers that they have. And I think there is a lot of relief for Toto Wolff as well. We spoke on this pod about being under pressure and, seeing a customer team beat them in the championship last year in McLaren. And I think that this year the pressure's off a little bit. I'm sure he will be saying that the pressure's on because they want to improve and keep going, and they want to stay at the top, rightly so. But I do think, generally speaking, the pressure's off because they've had such a good start to the year.
I totally agree. Let us know if you think it could be Kimi Antonelli or not in the comments below.